Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Dialed In Podcast, the Low Equity Edition. Today, again, we are joined by Bob. Thanks so much for joining us, Bob.
You bet.
Tell us a little bit about yourself really quickly before we dive into calls. Obviously, there's only two of us today.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll be making the phone calls together today.
That's right. So I'm in sub 2. I have a prior to sub 2 life. So in that prior to sub 2 life, we have, I guess, 15 long-term rentals and have owned and operated a 24 unit and a 54 unit apartment. They're both sold. But I didn't want to go to the bank anymore, and I didn't know how to avoid that. So I joined sub 2. I've sub 2 about a year. Still looking for my first deal through sub 2. So Mike seemed to be a good way to learn how to do that better. So I'm here to do it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We will test that theory and see how that goes for us. What do you think, Bob, being in sub 2 for about a year, what do you think the one thing is that you've learned that you have found to be really valuable?
So one thing, wow. So I'm actually going to say two things. Never follow directions, right? So the first is just all the technical stuff that's out there, and the challenge to avoid the shiny object syndrome, which is easy to do. And I've got caught up in it. Oh, I'm going to try this. Oh, I'm going to try that. But there's a whole bunch of technical stuff. So I'm trying to be focused and more precise. The other is the value of the connections in the community and having people in your, I was going to say back pocket. That's not quite what I mean, but if I need help with this, I could do that. And how can I be on the sub 2 Facebook group and ask for something that I need and see what I can do for other people. That sort of stuff, which is real different than the technical stuff, but I guess those two things.
You know, the shiny object syndrome is really interesting to me because I think that, and I've said this a lot, so forgive me if you've heard me say this a lot, but I think that anytime someone brand new jumps into sub 2, for example, you'll see so many different ways of making money.
Yep.
And they all work.
Yep.
And what's really interesting about that, by the way, it's, never mind, that's not important. It's really interesting when people do jump into sub 2 and they see all of these different things. And the model's proven. Everything in there works. You have to work it correctly and give it enough time and space to develop.
Yep.
And I think what happens largely is people give up way too early.
Yep.
Or they'll try a couple of phone calls to an agent and say this doesn't work.
Yep.
And you know, it's partly why we're here today. What we want to do is go through the phone calls. We want to make each other better. Since we're both calling today, I want to make sure that I provide you with feedback, Bob. You provide me with feedback.
Okay.
And we just continue to move forward to either our first deal or our next deal.
Yep.
So today, Bob is going to call from the top of the list. I am going to call from the bottom of the list. This is an interesting side note today. Should I mention this, Bob, the data that we're calling?
Sure.
So the leads that Bob and I are calling today, I've given myself the ones that are higher interest rates, higher equity. What I want to test myself on personally is how can I get past the objection? What can I do, for example, to make a deal work if there's more equity or if the interest rate's higher? I want to try to test that myself and see where I can go with it. Bob is going to start with maybe lower interest rates, lower equity positions, which aren't easier necessarily. They're just a different type of challenge, right? So the conversation might be a little bit different. I might be talking more hybrid type of scenarios, whereas Bob's talking straight sub 2, for example. So we thought we'd give ourselves a challenge. I am going to start dialing. Let's get on the phone. Let's see if we can get on some phone calls together.
So I realized I forgot to put a caveat in, which is this has nothing to do with sub 2, which is my wife has a home health person coming in about 1:30. If I hear that, I may jump up and open the door, let them in, and then come back here. So hopefully that will not happen when I'm on a call. But
not a problem.
If you look up and see my face missing, that's what I'm doing.
Not a problem at all.
You have reached German Uri with Sweet Homes Realty. At the moment, I can't come to the phone, but if you leave me a brief message with your name and phone number, I'll be glad to get back to you as soon as possible. Have a blessed day. Puede dejar su mensaje en español. Gracias.
Hey, Jermaine, Bob O'Brien. I'm out of Austin, but looking to expand my rental properties into Florida.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, Daniel, this is Mike Jackson. How you doing?
Pretty good, Mike. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm calling about a listing of yours, the one on Lane Avenue in Riverbank.
Yes.
You there? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we just went pending yesterday.
Oh, you did? Congratulations. That's awesome. Are you guys taking backup offers?
No, we're not. If things don't work out, we'll just we'll just make it active again.
Okay, cool. Well, let me tell you, since I have you on the phone, let me tell you what I'm looking for. And maybe if you come across it, you can let me know. I am looking to buy a couple of homes in Riverbank specifically. And what I do is I'll buy homes and then I'll simply resell them on owner finance. What I try to do is give someone who doesn't have the opportunity to purchase conventionally the opportunity to buy a home. Do you have anything coming up that might be a good opportunity for something like that?
No. And I'm actually in a weird transitional phase because I'm actually moving out of state, out of California. So that's probably my last sell in California.
Where are you moving to?
To Washington State.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, do you know of anyone who I should be reaching out to? Maybe someone from your office who deals with, kind of like lower to middle income type of housing?
No, the team I was working with, they all dealt with homes in the 800,000s,
Okay.
So I don't think that would kind of fit the demographic you're looking for necessarily. Yeah, no, I wish I could, kind of help you there, but I think probably not.
No worries. Well, congratulations on Lane Avenue. It sounds like a great deal. If you come across anything, please let me know. This is my cell phone number.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day. All right. We'll keep going.
Yeah. Audrey?
Who's this?
My name is Bob O'Brien. I'm calling about your listing at 503 Medina Drive up in Clean. I'm from Austin, but looking to increase my rental properties.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
That's a good question. So I've got, I guess, 15 rental properties down in Austin and San Antonio and Round Rock. And I'm looking to move up to the Killeen area, get some properties up there. I'm ex-military. I don't know if you are or not.
I'm not.
Okay. Is this house owned by a military? It doesn't really matter, but I like working with military, I guess is what I'm going with that.
This is a VA foreclosure.
Ah,
So
okay.
it was, they had a loan on it, and the VA took it back.
Yeah,
Foreclosure.
yeah. Yeah, that kind of thing doesn't work for me, unfortunately. If I got it before it was foreclosed on, I might be able to work it out, but once the VA owns it, that doesn't work for me. So is this a market that you work regularly in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me tell you a little bit
Are
about,
you trying to do a subject to?
say again?
Are you like trying to do a subject to?
Well, that's one option. There are others, but that's one. Have you done any of those, or are you getting bombarded by TikTok wonders? And
I'm getting bombarded by investors that want to do subject twos.
Yeah.
I have a wholesaler that I work with that I can give their information to, and he probably he does a lot of deals like that.
Okay.
So I can connect you with him
yeah,
if you want to send me your contact information.
Okay.
Pass that along to him, but he's probably a better bet.
okay. So it sounds like you don't really like to work with subject to or seller finance or any of that sort of stuff, or maybe you do. I don't know.
It doesn't bother me.
Right.
The only thing is I'm primarily a listing agent. Like I contract with CRM, which subsidize like works with me with the their foreclosure.
Yeah. Okay.
So predominantly my listings are those and investor listings, which have already been rehabbed
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Uh huh.
So it's a little harder.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay. Well, I'll send you my contact information.
Okay, I'll pass it along. His name is Joshua Ross, so I'll have him reach out to you.
Okay, that would work.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Can't say that was a very great call, but
My fault, Bob. Sorry, I muted myself.
okay, not a problem.
What I find really interesting about a call like that is when an agent picks up and they're, "Who is this? Who's calling?
Yeah.
Why are you calling me?"
Yeah, that's right. It's like,
And we talked about this last time, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, why aren't you excited that somebody is calling you?
that's right, because you know the odds of them the odds are they're calling about one of your properties.
Right. And the beauty of it too is think of it from a real estate agent's perspective. If you're calling them as a buyer, you're unrepresented.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you want to put on a good presentation
you
just
would
in
think
case
so.
you're
You would
looking
think
for more
so.
clients? But anyway, you checked yourself on one thing that I was going to note on that call, and
No.
you checked yourself when you asked a kind of a leading question. Like it sounds like you don't like doing sub twos or something along those lines, right?
Yeah, I didn't like that question.
Yeah, but you caught yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so, how would you change that to make it sound a little bit different?
Have you done any sub two deals? Did you have any clients that you had a chance to talk to about that?
Yep.
That kind of question.
Yeah. It sounds like you've been bombarded with people who are looking for sub twos. Have you ever done one before?
Yeah.
And that's not an open-ended question,
Yeah.
but then that leads into the open-ended question. Hey, what do you think
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. That makes sense.
So other than that, yeah, I mean, you're right. She was not necessarily a willing participant in
Yeah.
that phone call.
Yeah. And she said most of her stuff for like this was a VA foreclosure. The VA already owned it. So she said she sort of worked that market. So I think sub two doesn't really fit in that kind of setting, huh?
Well, yeah. So let's explore that a little bit, because what we don't want to do is anytime we get an agent on the phone, we don't want to waste the opportunity to create a relationship,
Right.
At the very least. So let's kind of flush this out. I don't have any right answers, but let's
Right.
talk about how we can, take advantage, build a relationship, take advantage of the time that we have with that agent on the phone. So, so in this situation, I think that it sounds like she was representing the Department of Veterans
Yeah.
Affairs.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Actually, it's not. It's a whole different department. But what do we need from her? What would we like to get from her? Let's start there.
I mean,
We don't have to think just sub 2. We can think just anything real estate related.
yeah. I'd be interested in seeing if she has other leads that other properties that might fit.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting.
Yep.
Had she done has she actually been involved in a sub 2 or a seller finance kind of deal?
Yep.
And I kind of asked both of those. What I just realized probably a good one would have been, so do you know, or do you have agents in your office who kind of do those kinds of deals, or who have a different, I don't know how I'd phrase it, but it sounds like you work a lot in the foreclosure market. Is there any agent in your office that has done sub 2s or is interested in sub 2s or has clients that might fit with or something like that?
What about this? If you were going to go down the sub 2 path, which is totally cool, by the way, if you're going to go down that sub 2 path, what if you were to say something like, I know you're getting a ton of calls from other investors who are looking for sub 2 offers. Most of the investors who I work with who are looking for sub 2 opportunities have never done a sub 2 and probably don't know how to go through it themselves.
Right.
The way that this is really advantageous for a seller and for an agent as well, because we pay their commissions directly, is typically in low equity situations, we're able to come in and give the seller as much, if not more, cash at close than they were expecting with the traditional sale. Do you have anyone in your office who is struggling to sell a listing that might have low equity? Or do you have any listings coming up that might be military owned? Maybe they bought them a couple years ago on a VA loan. Do you have any of those types of leads coming up by chance?
That would have been good.
You know, and really what you do there is you highlight the value of what you bring. Let me show you how this can be done safely in a way that protects the seller. It sounds like you haven't done something like this before. Let me show you how it could work in case we can work on something together in the future. And you could even say, I would love for you to represent me on the buy side if you have someone in your office who has a listing like this. That's bringing value to them.
Yeah. That's a good. I like that. The
other thing that you could do too is you could go a little bit more broad. You could say, what markets you typically work in. You kind of went down that a little bit, right? You could say, I'm also looking for something maybe that I can fix and flip. I have partners who are looking for something that they can fix and flip. Something along those lines. Do you have anything coming up that might need some work? Might need a little bit of love.
Mm-hmm.
And you could always transition too from that into, by the way, we've been doing lots of fix and flip lending opportunities, or we've taken advantage of fix and flip lending opportunities. Do you have any clients that are looking for either fix and flip loans or rental loans, things like that? You can always kind of connect the dots in that way as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never even thought of that piece.
It wasn't nearly as eloquent as I wanted it to be, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
We have her on the phone. What can we do? How can we bring value to her business?
Right.
And we can even ask very simply, and we know people personally who do this. The question is, what do you need in your business to take you from where you are now to where you want to be in 6 months? Mm-hmm. What do you need? What can I as an investor bring to you? And let's maybe see if I can ask that question on the phone and see where that goes.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm expecting the home health person in a few minutes, so I'm gonna hold off on calling until I solve that when they get here.
Of course.
That makes sense?
Of course. I will make some phone calls then.
Hello.
Hey, Jessica, it's Mike Jackson. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
It sounds like I caught you in the line at like a sandwich place or something like that.
No, I'm at a home that we're redoing.
Oh, do you actively like fix and flip stuff?
Some, yeah.
Yeah, we do too. I live in Austin. We have 12 going on right now. I'm in over my head.
Uh-huh.
How's your project going?
It's good. It's good.
Good. Well, the reason I was calling you is I'm calling about your new listing on Putnam Street.
Uh-huh.
And is that still available, by the way?
It is.
Okay, cool. So, one thing that I do besides my a head banging against a wall with my contractors here in Austin
Mhm.
doing fix and flips is I buy homes and I sell them to people who can't get qualified conventionally, basically like an owner finance type of thing. And so I'm looking for a couple opportunities in Crown Point specifically. It seems to be a really good market for us.
Mhm.
And I was curious if this might be a good opportunity for something like that. So I guess I have questions about the neighborhood and things like that. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, I can tell you, I don't know. I mean, just as far as price goes, because I don't want to waste your time, but they are not willing to come down much on the price. So if it's something like that, I know that they won't do that.
I'm not turned off by the price at all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the neighborhood's great. It's right near I-65, like within a couple of miles right there. And then behind the house, there's never going to be any homes built. It's an old golf course back there, but that area there is not buildable ground. So that's kind of an attraction for it as well. But yeah, it's just the location's wonderful because it's right near shopping, dining, and doctors. So
Perfect. That's awesome. And it looks like it's a relatively new little neighborhood, right?
it is, yeah. So like probably 2005-ish,
Okay.
I would say. The home itself was built in 2007, and it doesn't have any HOAs, but it does have a small enough yard to easily maintain. But it's nice because then you can go ahead and put the fence up that a lot of times those smaller like cottage homes, you can't do that, because usually it's maintenance free. You got to pay the HOA and they won't let you do anything in your own backyard. So,
Right.
yeah, this home, you can do that. It is original owner and they put the roof on less than 3 years ago. So it doesn't have an old roof on it. I mean, it's been very, very well cared for. It just is finding the right buyer right now. So that's kind of what we're waiting on.
And what's the activity been like on it?
Every weekend I've been doing open houses. This is how all my listings are going around here. I've got several people showing up to the open house, and I just think the Crown Point market is, for whatever reason, a little bit slow right now. Or I guess Northwest Indiana, unusually slow. So I'm hoping that it picks back up when the sun is shining. But we do have a showing today. I mean, we've had quite a few showings. We've had some almost. We cannot take any contingencies on it. We've had a couple that, loved it, but they have to be contingent. So it's like, well, you got to get your home under contract. So that's kind of where we're at.
Got it. You mentioned really quickly about the price. Have you gotten people calling you trying to negotiate down the price?
No.
Okay, good.
Mm-mm.
Good.
Nope.
You probably just heard investor and you're like, he's going to lowball me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know.
I don't know. Think about it and let me know if that's something that you guys or your company's interested in, or, I don't know how you normally do that, but.
Yeah. Well, the price doesn't scare me at all. So I'm not
Okay.
worried about that. I love the street. I love the fact that it opens up to that area that's not going to be developed. I think that's really cool. Let me ask you a stupid question here and tell me if I'm banging up the wrong tree.
Mhm.
But one thing I'm looking at specifically with this one, I don't know why, but I just can't get this out of my head. Would the sellers be open to us taking over the mortgage that's already in place by chance?
No, they
Okay.
wouldn't.
Okay.
No, they definitely want to do things though. In fact, I think he even wants a conventional buyer. So,
When you say conventional, what do you mean?
well, I mean, I would say probably at least insured conventional. We can take FHA, we can take VA, but I mean, he wants a good solid buyer, and because he wants to move on and buy something else. So.
Oh, I see. Okay. So his concern is the ability to buy a home next.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Interesting. It sounds like you'd done a transaction like that before, the way that I described.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not saying that this is our only option by any means. It's just sticking out to me for some reason
Mhm.
in my head regarding this. I don't think that you guys are in a position yet to even talk about it, especially given the fact that the sellers want a very conventional type of sale.
Mhm.
I'm going to keep an eye on this just in case. If
Okay.
you guys are still on the market in 60 days or so, maybe I'll give you a call back and we can talk
Perfect.
about that option.
Okay.
Do you happen to have anything else by chance that might fit what I'm looking for?
I don't think so. Not right now.
Okay.
But if I think of anything, I will let you know. So if you want to send me an email, that would be fine. Yeah, and I'll keep you posted.
I appreciate it. Good luck with your flip.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. She did not want to talk. That's okay. I kept her on the phone longer than I thought. Let's just keep dialing.
Hi, you've reached Jennifer.
Oh, this one will be fun. If I get her on the phone, I don't know why I said her. This name is Root, R-U-T-E. I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Christian.
Hey, Christian, it's Mike. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm good, thanks. I'm calling about a listing of yours on Early Street.
Yes, sir.
You have a Houston area code. Are you from Houston?
Yeah, I'm originally born and raised out there.
Awesome. I live out here in Austin. I recognize the 832 really quickly. What made you move out there?
I'm active duty Navy, so I've been Navy for 13.
Got it. That makes perfect sense in Norfolk. Did I lose you? You there? Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on once. Oh, there you go. I can hear you just fine. Well, cool. I'm glad everything's going well out there for you. Like I said, I have some interest in Early Street, and I'm looking to buy another rental out there, basically. And I was curious to learn a little bit more about the property, the neighborhood, and maybe see how the listing's going for you.
Listing's getting a lot of traction through social media because it's a unique property. We've only had a couple showings, but the average market time is closer to 2 months before a ratified contract. So I've already prepped the sellers to be patient for a little bit, considering those factors.
Got it. What's the feedback been so far on it? I love, by the way, that fan inside the house.
Feedback's been good. I mean, the biggest takeaway is that, people love the garage. The home itself has been added on over the years. My clients bought it the way it is, with the exception of paint. So there's been a lot of additions, so you don't have a normal, traditional layout. It's not that it's bad. It's just, you can tell that there was an addition here and there. 2 additions on the main structure, and then the garage was added later on as well.
And I'm assuming that those were all permitted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And when you said it's an interesting property, are you just talking about the fact that it's kind of like segmented as a result of it being additions?
No, I mean, you got a 4-car garage, and you have a detached enclosed pergola, and then the backyard is all turf as well. So in this area, you don't really have more than a single-car garage, especially in comparison to like what we have out in Texas. Single-car garages out here are more like storage sheds. So,
Yep.
Having a full 4-car garage, it's not common for the area of Norfolk by any means.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Out here, we have those side yards where people can pull their RVs in,
Yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you a stupid question. I don't know if you guys have been approached with this yet or not, but because we buy so many rental properties, sometimes one thing we'll present an agent like yourself is with the idea of us coming in and simply taking over the loan that's already in place instead of us getting our own financing. Would the seller be open to something along those lines?
No. I've known my client for quite some time, and I actually helped him acquire another investment property a couple of years ago. So I've briefed him on the idea of sub 2, but he has this property. So this property is tied into both him and another one of his service members' names. They bought it utilizing both of their VA loans.
Got it.
And they're both separating from the Navy. One's already in Tennessee, one's getting out and going to Ohio. So they're trying to get rid of this property so they can free up both of their entitlements and move on with their lives. But we're going to see how it plays out because we're priced pretty aggressively due to the fact that there's not many comparable homes in the area.
Are you working in that garage right now, redoing like a engine or something?
Who, me?
Yeah, it sounds like you're dropping tools or something.
No. I'm at the gym.
That's what it is. You're dropping the 45 pounders. I get it. Okay. You mentioned sub 2, and I know that you're at the gym. I'll just take 30 seconds more of your time if you don't mind.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
There are very few agents who actually know that term. Have you done a transaction like that before?
Yeah, I invest personally. Try to go the sub 2 route as much as I can. I actually just closed on one last week.
Awesome. I love that. Where'd you close on one?
Out here. We do all of our investing out here. I have a business partner that was an agent on my team that's also an active duty Navy chief, but he's stationed out in Tennessee right now.
Oh, cool. Well, what are you guys looking for? Well, how can I bring value to your business?
Really, we're just trying to get buying holds, man. That's all we want. Trying to just build a portfolio. We got about five investments on our books right now. I'm just trying to get 2 per year.
Okay. What do you guys have any sort of buy box at all in terms of maybe interest rates that you're trying to acquire or entry fees?
Yeah, and my biggest approach is low barrier to entry. As long as I don't really care too much about cash flow. As long as there's an opportunity for appreciation and the mortgage is covered, I'm good. My partner's kind of on the same page. The deal makes sense.
I love it. Well, we come across deals that we don't buy. I'd love to reach out to you in case you're looking to buy something like we might have available soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. I have a couple of listings right now. Talking to you to tell you know what you're talking about. There's a lot of people entering the sub 2 market right now that I can tell are either new or trying to get their feet wet. But talking to you, there's another property I have out in Portsmouth. It's 1820 Maple. I just convinced my seller to consider sub 2 route on that, so you might want to look at that one if you have some interest or if you have some time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely take a look at that, and then I'll watch this one just in case. I know it's not a opportunity yet. It probably won't be in the future. I totally get that, but I'd love to work with you any way that we can in the future. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send over my digital business card and look forward to talking to you in the future.
Me too, Christian. Have a good workout.
You too now.
Bye. God, I couldn't hear a thing that was going on in the background. Let's unmute you, Bob. Hey.
Yeah, so he was in a gym, or that was all his equipment as he was pumping iron there talking to you on the phone?
I think he said he was at the gym.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what that means, but okay. So talk to me. Tell me what I could have done differently or better, or something that you liked. Preferably something I could have done better.
Yeah, I think I missed most of it because I was getting the home therapy or home care worker in the house and settle down and stuff like that. So I missed most of it. It sounded, the piece that I heard was the most at the end, which sounded pretty smooth. I thought it was really interesting that he, I guess, has closed a sub 2 deal. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, he buys sub 2 deals. He's looking to increase his portfolio.
Oh, okay. He closed them as a buyer.
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now I understand better about the segue into what is his buy box, because I was wondering, but that makes sense because he's looking to buy, you're looking to place a property maybe, and so he would be someone that you could send a deal to potentially.
Yep. Yeah. So he doesn't care about cash. I mean, he cares a little bit about cash flow, but not a whole lot. He just wants low barrier to entries. So anything that's probably 8% or less entry fee, that's something that we should definitely run by him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. What else did you pick up on? Anything?
I was caught in the other stuff, and so I didn't really get a chance to pay much attention. I'm sorry.
Not
for
a problem.
That.
Not a problem. Let's get back on the phones and make some more phone calls.
Yeah. Hi, Ernie. My name is Bob O'Brien. I'm calling about your listing at 8080 Briar Ridge Lane.
Yes.
Great. So you can tell from my area code, I'm not from California. I actually live in Austin, Texas. But I've got a bunch of long-term rentals down here in Austin. I'm just thinking about expanding out into California.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about the house.
Well, I don't know a ton just because it's my friend's house.
Oh.
It's a PUD, and I don't know if you know the difference between a PUD and a condo.
I don't.
Or a townhouse. But,
I don't.
Okay, so a PUD, when you buy a condo, you don't own the land.
Right.
You own but with a PUD, you own the land.
Okay.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now this from what I was told, you might have seen some photos. From what I was told by the seller, she doesn't live there anymore.
Okay.
She now lives in Georgia.
Wow.
And actually, just so you know, I'm in Houston right now.
Oh my gosh.
So we have a home in Houston also, and so I go back and forth to get grandkids.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah.
Grandkids are wonderful. I got a few myself.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's why I'm here. But so this unit, it's in pretty great shape, except for upstairs. She says her carpet upstairs needs to be stretched.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem.
There's a tenant in there right now. We gave them a 60-day notice.
Okay.
It is a short sale, and I've sent all the documents to the lender.
Okay.
They're going to approve the short sale.
Right.
Right now, I was going to price it even lower, but I know how these banks work.
Right.
The bank is Mr. Cooper.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The lender.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was going to actually try and price at $325, but they would have said, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, that's right.
$350 the low end.
That's right.
Now this can go. I've seen some homes close on that for about $400.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but this seems like a fair number considering everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me.
Citrus Heights, and this location is Citrus Heights, 95610. There's two zip codes in Citrus Heights, 95621 and 95610. This is 10.
Okay.
This is the nicer of the two.
The nicer of the two. Okay.
Because I've looked and sold properties in both locations, and the other location is closer. The other zip code is closer to an area that's not as nice, and this is actually more a desirable area closer to Orangevale.
Yeah.
Which is a nicer area.
Yeah.
And Faro, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about what I do. I don't know that this one would fit, but maybe. But so I'm looking to, if I could get some more long-term rentals. Like I said, I've got, I think, 15 down in Texas. And as you likely know, if you have that many mortgages in your name, the banks run away. So I have to buy them either by taking over the mortgage and dealing with the equity, or by doing seller financing. Because otherwise last time I tried to get a DSCR loan, it was 8 or 9. It was like, oh my God, this doesn't work at all. So I know a smidge about short sales, not a lot, only enough to be dangerous. So I don't think either of those strategies would work with a short tail, or not.
No, not for short sales. I've done many short sales or REOs. Yeah, because it's owned by the bank.
Oh yeah.
They won't do any financing.
Yeah, it's a straight go to the bank and get a new loan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's how that works. So yeah, that's not going to work on that. I will get properties on occasion, but like I got about 5 more listings coming on the market, but 2 of them I'm actually purchasing.
Oh, good for you.
And then there's I flipped a few. I flipped about 50 properties.
Wow.
So, so there's money in that. It takes, I've got 2 I'm working right now, and I've got 2 more I'm going to be picking up.
Are those out in California, or?
Yeah, mostly in California. I'm actually going to buy properties in Texas.
That's a good place to buy them.
License here. Yeah, I got my license I looked up my broker's license in California, but I'm going to get my license here in Texas, and since I don't have the clientele like I do in here, like I have in Texas, I'm going to just buy properties at the trustee now. And
flip them, then
Yeah.
build it up that
Yeah,
way, you know?
yeah, that makes sense.
So,
That makes good sense.
yeah, but as far as seller financing, yeah, I have a couple of properties that I've already got hit up for seller financing. A couple of them are my family's.
Uh-huh.
But you know, we're taking that money and we're using it to flip more properties.
Yeah.
We need the cash.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
We pay everything in cash.
yeah,
But yeah, wait. And if you can get folks to do that, that may be an option. I have a property that's coming up in Roseville. Roseville is a very nice area. There's money in that area.
good.
But the deal with this home, I'm going to meet up the seller probably in a little bit, and I don't know if she's willing to do seller financing. If she is, I'll let you know.
Okay, so is it owned free and clear? It's got an underlying mortgage. You may not know if you haven't met with her yet.
I don't know, but it's my friend's sister.
Ah, okay.
The owner passed away.
That's
and
tough.
She and her sister inherited it, but I don't know if it's got free or not.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we can, if it is, then that might be an option for you.
Yeah.
Inside do seller finance.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for sure, give me a call if that comes up. So the other way to deal with property is by taking over the mortgage and then dealing with the equity. Have you done anything like that?
I haven't. I bought all mine cash.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Yeah.
Either trustee sale or pick up a short sale or pick up a probate.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this long enough since I've banked. I'm older, so I get a lot of folks that call me and say, "Hey, my dad's passing away. My uncle's here and that.
Yeah.
How can you help me?" I said, "Well, there's two options. We can put it on MLS, or I'll make you an offer.
I'll just buy it yourself. Good. Good for you. Sounds.
Yeah. So, but do me a favor. Text me your name.
Okay.
And I have your number.
Okay.
And your email address. And
Okay.
I'll keep you on my list.
Great.
And since I know you're in Austin,
Right.
who knows? I may have other properties, because one option I thought of doing too, and I know you want to do seller financing. When I do buy some properties here in Texas, I may be selling some wholesale. I may keep some, and maybe I will do seller financing.
Yeah.
It just depends on where I'm at.
Yeah.
As far as numbers.
Yeah. Do you know about? I guess it gets called a variety of things, but do you know about sub 2? That's a really good solution particularly for low equity properties.
I'm sorry, you broke up. What was that?
So I was asking if you have any familiarity or have done any subject to property purchases. That's a really good way to solve the problem of low equity. I had a buddy of mine, and he just bought a property where the seller was going to have to write a check, I think, for $10,000, maybe more, to sell the house because they were upside down. And the seller was not happy, but they needed to get the deal done. And so my friend came in and simply took over the mortgage payments, and then actually paid all the closing costs, paid the agent's commissions, and put $5,000 in the seller's pocket. So instead of writing a check for 10, the seller got a check for 5. And so that was
got it.
that was really.
No, I haven't done that. The only problem with that, what I can see, and you can tell me, is if that person is upside down, what if they have a high interest rate?
Well, so
then
that may kill it. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So the advantage so let's say I'm doing a deal like that. The advantage to me is, instead of going out to the bank and knocking on the door and doing a DSCR loan and paying 8-9%, I get to take over the underlying mortgage, which needs to be, for me, quite frankly, under 5. The advantage to the agent is they get the commission paid, and the advantage to the seller is, they may end up with as much or more cash in their pocket than they would if they did a conventional. So it's not for every seller, for sure, but it certainly can solve some problems that sellers have and then agents have when they're trying to sell a property and the person,
Yeah. It's almost like a short sale, like I've done many short sales.
Yeah.
When they're upside down like that.
Yeah.
But if it's only $10,000 or so, like in this situation here, I think she's about 50 to 60,000 underwater.
Wow.
And so it's but I've done
Yeah,
or
sure.
or you know.
Sure.
I just closed one recently, and a friend of mine, and this guy similar to you, he buys rental properties. And he got a good deal on it. He
Right.
fixed it up a little bit.
Right.
And then we had to do an eviction, but outside of that, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that works. So I guess I have another question. Do you have anybody in your office who might be interested? It sounds like you're coming to Texas, which is a great place to do real estate. Do you have anybody in your California, Austin? I can't even talk. California office that might be interested in some of this information, or?
Maybe. I've got new agents. I've got 7 agents who work for me. I'm going to keep my office here.
Oh, okay.
All my office in California, because my mom, my brothers, my nieces, my sisters, everyone lives there. Only one lives here is my children and my grandchildren.
Yeah.
And so I go back and forth. I will be commuting back and forth, but right now I'm about 65 to 70% in California and 30% here. So just give you an example. I individual flights, one way, I've done about almost 60 flights. So,
Wow.
But it falls in the budget, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to keep my office there. Because I get a lot of referrals. Most of my deals are referrals.
Sounds like it.
And that's how I'm picking up these 2 properties. One in Concord that fell in my lap, and it's a friend of a friend. And if we can work out a deal, hopefully it'll net me about 200 grand.
Man, you got this process down.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 10 years,
Yeah.
And so but I don't search for them like I used to.
They come to you.
Now, so.
Yeah, they come to you. That's the best. No, not many cold calls, and they just come calling you, which is awesome.
Right. And that's what makes it so hard for me to leave.
I'll bet. Because
of that, but I decided, I'll be here. I'll flip it, and I'll be here most of the time, and less there. But you do everything online pretty much.
Right.
DocuSign everything.
Right.
But if I need to meet somebody, I'll just.
Right.
I've had situations where I'll say, "Gosh, I got to meet this important client."
Right.
I had to book a flight the day before.
Right.
So you just pay for the extra fee.
Well, it sounds like you're a busy guy, so I won't take up a lot more of your time. I'd love to be a resource to you on the subject to business as a way of solving the low equity problem, or be a resource to I guess you said you had 7 agents that work for you. So it's a really good way to get people out of a hole. And a lot of those holes keep the deal from selling, which means the agent does never get their commission. They work hard, but they don't get anything. So everybody wins if we do it right.
Okay, no, sounds good. Yeah, take me your information.
I'll do that as soon as we hang up.
Okay, very good.
Thanks. You bet. Bye-bye.
Bob, how cool is that?
Yeah, that seemed pretty good. I stumbled a little bit, but it worked.
You didn't have to worry about that at all, though, because your rapport at the beginning was built so strongly, right?
Okay.
You're both grandfathers. You guys could, talk about that. You guys could talk about being investors. He owns some properties. He's a wholesaler.
Yeah.
Was that an agent?
No, some who knows what it is, but
that's too bad.
It's one of those scammers for sure.
What was so cool about that call, though, is that you made a connection with an agent who might end up being somewhat of a local agent who can feed you deals left and right. And you guys can talk about it on the same level because he has experience just as you do.
Yeah.
So you've created this relationship, and this is one that you're definitely going to want to keep, right?
Yeah.
That's an agent you're going to want to follow up with very, very consistently.
Yeah.
It may not be a deal here. We'll see.
Okay.
But, I think that call was handled really, really well.
Good.
I don't have any feedback on things that could have gone better. I think that you did a really, really good job there.
Okay.
I think maybe one thing is let him talk a little bit more just so you can kind of get more out of him. Sometimes silence works really well.
I felt like I was interrupting more than I wanted to, but I seem to do it anyway.
Well, and that's hard when you're on the phone, right? Because you can't the visual cues of when to stop a conversation or when to stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you also have the lag, right? Sometimes it's not completely perfect. So
Yeah.
Don't blame yourself for that at all.
Okay.
But I love the tactic of just shutting up sometimes and just seeing what happens, because people fill blank space.
Yep.
They want to fill the void. It makes them uncomfortable.
Yep.
And what tends to happen is they'll say things that they shouldn't have said in the first place.
Yeah.
That gives you an opportunity to, seize the moment.
Yep.
So
Good.
Anyway, that was great, Bob.
Good.
I think that's a really good place to stop for today,
Yeah.
if that's okay with you.
Sounds like it. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
The other folks missed out.
That's exactly right, as they always do.
That's right. That's right.
If they're not here, they miss out.
That's right. So the link to schedule another call is in the original email or something that came in the beginning?
Yeah, I'll keep sending you a link to reschedule. Okay. But yeah, it's everywhere. The link's all the same. It goes to the same calendar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Bob, thank you so much for attending. Appreciate it very, very much.
You bet.
Appreciate the feedback on my phone calls as well. So
you bet. Appreciate your help.
Of course. Until next time, guys. We'll see you guys.